Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. What's up, sister?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I say that, but it's like I never know. We have these conversations, and it's like I don't. Today, it's like I have no idea.
That's
I was like, okay, spirits, like what's like up to you, God, like whatever you guys want to throw in the mix today.
what I was doing on the way home. So I got about a 15, well, about probably 20-minute drive home and I'm like, all right, same thing. All right, spirit, what's the topic today, tonight? What are we going to talk about? Um, I don't know. I'll just lead off with divine timing and then we'll go from there. It can go wherever we decide it's going to go.
Perfect.
Um, So I have a new project, I guess you will call it, because I need something else to do. Starting in February 2025. And so um during just before Thanksgiving, I reached out to somebody about a facility and she said, leave me a message and I'll get back to you after the holidays, Thanksgiving. I said, okay. So Monday after Thanksgiving, I left a message. And today is Wednesday, right? So Tuesday, so I left a message on Monday. So Tuesday, I knew after the holidays, she probably have to get caught up on things as we all do. And so I just figured I'd give it a few days, no big deal, and then reach out again. So um I pay for a PO box at one of those mailbox things, and so I typically stop by there on my way home, and guess who was there when I pulled in? I well, she had pulled in before me and had already gone inside. Didn't know who it was because I only saw the back of their head. And then I pulled in, and as I was going in, she was coming out. And sometimes people just look different and you're not sure if that's them or not. So it's like, I said her name kind of questionably. And then she looked at me and she goes, yeah. I said, I'm Amy Wade. I'm the one that's been talking to you about this room. And she goes, oh, yes. And so it was just like, and then also yesterday, Tuesday, at work, I have this, the tape dispenser, the refillable type, the desktop tape dispenser. And I looked over at it and I thought, huh, I need some more tape. Didn't go look for any. I was taking care of something else. I wasn't even using the tape. I didn't even need the tape in the moment. I just looked over and said, huh, thought I need some tape. And then went about what I was doing. I walked away from my desk to go do something. I came back and there was a roll, not for the tape dispenser, but a roll of Scotch tape laying on my desk. So things like that just keep happening more frequently. And it's just a lot of fun. And the less attachment to something, the quicker it happens. And I'm just like, okay, well, this is what I need. And I've been thinking about this. This is for a while, not on a regular basis, just periodically. I think, oh, I want to get a ring light. So, the ring lights for doing podcasting and stuff. And one of the ladies at work handed me a bag of stuff that she said, if you can use any of this in your office, you're welcome to use it, blah, blah, blah. So I went through it finally. And guess what was in that bag? A little ring light. And I went and asked her, I said, is this something that has to stay in the office, or is this something that I could have and take home? And she looked at it and she goes, oh, well, this came from somebody else. And if you want it, take it.
Nice.
So it's just been fun with things like that.
that's manifestation, right? So
Yeah.
we can talk about manifestation all day long and how easily it happens and how quickly it happens. Of course, if you don't have an attachment to the outcome, or if
Yeah.
you don't have attachment to a situation or whatever it is, like you said, attachment. But it is pretty, we put so much pressure on ourselves when we think, oh, I need that, or I want to have that, or whatever. No, think about what you would like and let the universe bring it to you and surprise and delight you. You walk out of your office, there's tape on your desk. You're in work and someone hands you a bag that just happens to have a ring light in it. That's how it works. That's how it always works. As long as we don't have that attachment, and as long as I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this, because we know need, the word itself, puts you in a place of constantly needing something, never being fulfilled. Need doesn't have, like it's having love and hate in the same environment or the same energy. They're not the same energy. Feeling the energy of one or the other, you can't have them both at the same time. And so needing something and having something are two different energy vibrational frequencies, right? So it's just trying, it's tapping into it from a different perspective. And then recognizing, God, because I've been doing meditations now for the last, I don't know, 3 months or whatever. And I do them at least once a day. If I wake up at any time in the middle of the night, I'm doing them. I do them in the morning. If I wake up early enough, I'll do them then. If I have time, whatever. It's just always happening. I'm not scheduled about it, but that's just me. And it's amazing the information that's out there. It's amazing the free meditations that you have access to. If you don't like one person's voice, there's another person to try. And you can meditate about anything. I was listening to last night, I couldn't sleep for whatever reason, last couple of nights. So last night I was listening to different meditations and I'd listen to it and I'd start feeling this agitated feeling. So it's like, I got to move on to the next, move on to something else because I wasn't done. I woke up this morning and having a realization that, that my whole focus has been, I need to go to work, right? To make money so I can pay my bills. I want to be able to hang out with kids more often. And I don't think about things because it's like it's not been in my habit of I'm used to my relationships. We come together in the evening after working whatever amount of time or whatever, or whatever, which is really no time at all. It seems that I had more of a relationship with coworkers than I ever actually had with my husband because we weren't together all the time. I was together with other people. And so now I'm like, I woke up this morning with such clarity. It's like, no, this is what I want. I want to be able to spend more time with Freeman and be able to go travel and do things and it's whatever that looks like. I don't have to have an idea exactly what that looks like, but it doesn't hurt to have ideas or envision those type of things, how I would like it to look. Because there's so many different things. But it's playfully doing. It's not thinking I need to do this, I have to do this. This is something that's missing. I woke up and this is how I felt, and I felt relieved. I felt like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And that is from listening to meditations. Because it doesn't matter if you fall asleep during the meditation, you're still receiving information that's still happening. Even if you've talked about a lot of different meditations you've listened to, but those meditations, if we're listening to them, you might be saying powerful statements that are being stated to you. You may not hear any of it. I'll wake up and it's like it's completely off. There's nothing playing at all. I'm like, oh, well, that's great. I hope I enjoyed that
Yeah.
meditation, but
Right.
obviously I did, or I wouldn't have gone off into another space. And it's also those little glimpses of things that happen. I this morning or last night, I don't even remember which one it was. I had a man's face come up over, like almost like overlaid just off to my left of it. And it's like, it's just fascinating, like checking in with who it is, what is this about? I'm just exploring so many things. And I think meditation really has opened up that doorway. And it's not because I'm making myself do it. It's because it's time. It's time for me to do this. If the seed had been planted and I kept thinking about it, I kept wanting to do it and kind of him and hawing about it, not doing it at all. And it's like, it's given me so much freedom, peace of mind, tranquility, like just knowing there's more to life. And I'll go back to the whole manifestation. We can manifest anything we want to manifest. You want to manifest a good day? Okay. You want to manifest a bad day? Okay. it doesn't matter. You're still manifesting. Just like the other day, I went in to get my oil changed. I sat there for 2 hours and I'm recognizing where my ego comes in, where my I comes in instead of my we. And because I sat at this place for 2 hours, well, over 2 hours to get an oil change. They ended up rotating my tires. That's great. And I get done and I look at the bill and it was nice because I had a coupon to go in and was $50 off. So that was freaking awesome, right? Oh, you can do an oil change? Perfect. I barely had to pay anything for this. But when I scheduled it, it was for a certain type of oil because I always use synthetic oil in my engines. Always. I have done it forever. It's just something I learned. And I get in there and it's like it's got this other oil and I was like, I got pissed. I mean, I got pissed. I was like, when I called you guys, you told me that I use synthetic. You already knew this. And so I was getting, and then Freeman's like, well, come on, we'll just worry about the next go around or whatever. And I was pissed off all the way home. And then at some point I stopped to process, okay, is this my ego that's being upset about this? I'm not sure why this exactly happened, but now I can look at this from a different perspective. I can slow down and take a look at this and recognize it's not something that's happening to me. It's happening for me for some reason. And it's out of my realm of expertise at this time. And it's okay. It's okay. Maybe it means that maybe I'm not going to have the truck for very much longer, or maybe I'm going to trade it in, or maybe I'm just going to get another oil change done a lot sooner, or, whatever the circumstances are. But it's just to be in that space instead of, because at first I was like, oh, they're doing this and they effed up. And you know what I mean? I was pissed. And one of the things that I had said to Freeman was the thing that really pissed me off is my time is valuable. Their time is valuable, but my time is valuable. And I think also recognizing that our time is valuable, I don't have to defend it, but it's just recognizing I'm finally at a place where I actually value my time, where I feel that my time is valuable. I didn't always feel that way. I was so giving of my time for massages, for everything. I would go above, almost always be over 15, 20 minutes on a massage, almost always, because I wanted to make sure that they left there feeling good. Otherwise, I didn't feel good because I had to do it perfect. And now if I choose to go over a bit, I'll go over a bit, but it's not the same. It's not coming from the same place that it was. So with all that being said, it's all manifestation, right? And I know there's a reason that it happened. I may not know exactly why it happened just yet, but I'll find out in the future. And that's okay. I don't have to know right now. It's not a big deal. My oil was changed. It didn't cost me that much. It needed to be changed. My air filter's clean, changed. Tires are rotated. We're good to go for another 300,000. No, for another 300 miles. But it's being patient. It's not being so like having to have your thumb and control it and all that stuff on it, which I have done most of my life.
Yeah. I would for me, just listening to you, I think the process for me, because I probably would have been in that kind of that same boat at some point, is I'm not being heard. Right? They're not listening to me, or I'm feeling unimportant because they're not listening. Like I would have probably processed it in that way. I don't know. Yes, time, of course, is valuable, and that probably would have irritated me. So yeah, I hear you on that. I'm finding that I get a little bit irritated at work because there is a lot of conversation that doesn't pertain to work, and I have a big list of things to get done, and my time's valuable, right? I have these hours to get this stuff done. Is what you're talking to me about relevant to what I'm doing? Because if it's not relevant, go talk. It's like go talk to somebody else because I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I got to get it done. So it's along the same lines. And then I also I've had to remind myself again. I've shared this before, and I just come back to it. And it's along the manifesting is, I will tell myself I have all the time, space, and energy I need to complete the tasks that need my attention today. And I I seriously last night went to bed saying that to myself over and over and over and over and over again. And waking up this morning and on the way to work. I have all the time, space, and energy I need to complete the tasks that need my attention today. And it was a smooth day. Like when you focus on what you want and the doors open,
Yeah.
people leave
And
you alone. People
yeah,
don't have conversations with you that don't need to be had. They uh it just worked out today and things flowed.
yeah, that's nice. And I can even go back for the oil change. I could have, when I first came in and said, hey, this, you guys are putting synthetic in, right? I could have clarified that and didn't. I just, someone had mentioned it the last time I had talked on the phone, and there's too many people. So it's like when you look at it, it's a different. So it's like I wasn't gonna. At first, I was pissed off. I wanted to be pissed off at them, and then it's like afterwards, it's not. I'm not gonna be pissed off at them. Why would I be pissed off at them? There, to me, there's no reason. Now, if I want to go get a fast oil change, there's places in town you can go get an oil change and you're in and out of there. So, and I know that. So that's up to me. That's up to me to value my time, right? It's not for them to value my time. It's for me to value my time.
And just that knowledge alone, it might come, it might be important for a next experience, not necessarily with your vehicle, not even in that topic. It could be totally something else, and you will go, oh, let me double check that this is what they're going to do.
Exactly.
So it's going to be valuable, and I'm always interested in like hearing the stories later of, yeah, because this happened, and I was on my game and I asked the questions and I did all the things because I had this other experience that didn't go so well. So yeah, I pay attention to things like that for myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see how I needed to experience the sucky part to be better in the next experience. So
And it's being open, right? It's being open to the flow of that information. You're saying that, and there was a video that just came out just recently. Suzanne Giesman was talking about her boat. I don't know if you had seen it or not, and if
yeah.
anybody wants to go, you have?
Hmm.
Oh, you have it. It goes along the lines of what we just talked about. Like it's listening to spirit, it's listening and knowing that things are supposed to happen for a certain reason and not getting so tied into, like, she was under the understanding she's supposed to get this boat and everything was like, synchronicity after synchronicity. And then it's like it got struck by lightning. They couldn't get it cleared. Like all these things were happening. And she's like, I know that's my boat. And then finally she's like, she decided just to walk away. Well, when she walked away, she did another search for something else that has to fit into a certain size of slip. And she said if she had looked up this boat initially, she would have seen that it was bigger than the dimensions that she was told was her slip. So it's like all these things. It was divine timing. It goes back to the same thing, because if she hadn't put all of her intention and attention into this one boat, then she would have missed out on the opportunity of the new one coming, this other boat coming into play. And then recognizing, like, it had the right name for her, like she could tell you each synchronicity why it was going on. And to me, it's like when you look at that stuff, it's more about that spirits letting you know they're along with you every step of the way. And don't get so caught up into the ideas of how it's supposed to be, right? The attachment to the outcomes, because it could be, even though you think spirit presented this to you, this is what it's supposed to be, there's always something bigger and better. There's always something that's going to blow your socks off. Like, it's just being open to that stuff. And when we get so tied into it and so pissed off, I drove home pissed off, to be in that space, it's like you limit the view, you limit the information that can flow into you at that time. You put yourself into a place of struggle, anger, like all these other feelings that don't feel like that. But the thing is, I don't spend that much time there. Okay, I was there for a little bit, but I didn't spend that. I wasn't in there for a whole day. I wasn't even in there for half of a day. So it's like it's nice to be able to look at the other side of everything.
And I'll just point out too, for anybody who's new at listening to us, Bev and I have had kind of parallel lives, and I can speak for her as far as this goes, that for her to say, I didn't hang on to it for a day, I didn't hang on to it for half a day. How many times have you, we've not been always been in this space to do that. We've had to train ourselves. And you can think about how many experiences you've had where you've just simple as they didn't put the right oil in your vehicle, that you're angry, and then the next day you were angry and you went to work and you told all your coworkers and you told everybody, and then the next day, and it just keeps going on, like days and weeks and months, you're pissed because that happened, whatever that is, you fill in the blank. And then the next time you decide to get your oil change, well, I'm not taking it there, and now you're drumming up all that anger again because it's still in there. And so you call somebody else, another business, and to do your oil change. Well, what if at that new business, you run into somebody you haven't seen in years, you really hit it off with the mechanics and whatever, right? Like there's so many scenarios that we could come up with as to why you needed to switch companies to do an oil change or in anything else. And that is like divine timing. That's what we're talking about, that you're being guided for some reason, but because the oil change didn't work out, and I'm just using this as an example because that's what we were talking about, it could be any reason that something happens not to your expectation, which makes you move in a different direction. And because you moved in that different direction, something amazing happened.
Yeah.
But we get so caught up in the ego, like you were talking about,
Yeah.
and it should have been done this way, and the anger and the blaming and the pointing of the finger, like, but then something amazing happens because things went sideways, and you're like, oh. And that's what I was talking about. And I know you know this, Bev, I'm just saying it for the audience, that the follow-up stories, like, because this sucky situation happened, the roses bloomed and everything was amazing, but that sucky situation had to happen for this other thing to come into your experience, because that had to redirect you from the journey you were on or the path you were taking, and to help you see something differently so that you could cross paths with that person you haven't seen in years and you've been thinking about, or get a certain phone call, or take a certain road that you typically wouldn't be on, and you had to take that road on that day for that oil change appointment, right? It's just millions of different scenarios, but that the fact is just being open to why things don't work out. To me,
Yeah.
like all the time, I'm just like, well, it's happening for a reason, and does it
Yeah.
suck? Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna see how this works out, because it just is.
Yeah. And it showed up on my gauges. So now I have an opportunity for the next time something happens that may be out of my control, that I can, I can see how is my response to that time. Because it's like it doesn't feel good. It
Yeah,
feels good to be happy. It feels good to be in a space of joy. It feels good to be connected. And to me, all those other feelings disconnect you from
yeah,
from that source of that amazing feeling.
yeah. And again, going back to, it could be just helping you or whoever be better at communication.
Yes,
Okay, well,
100%.
I didn't follow up with, this is what you're going to do, and go over it. I just assumed or expected, which I would do the same thing. I would expect that this is what they're going to do, and then it didn't turn out. But it's an opportunity to just get better at communication. And maybe that's all you
100%.
needed, because you're going to need that later on. Who knows? Who knows?
Well,
It's
because our communication is so important. It's like, you think about, if we're going to go be on stages and have conversations with people, we need to be very clear about things, and that's becoming clear about it.
yeah,
Did I vocalize it once I got there? No. Did I question anything? No. So it's like, it's so easy to put the blame onto somebody else, but that's not true. It's not a true story. There's no reason for me to put blame onto somebody else.
yeah. It's so good. I love
It
stuff
is.
like this. So, my friends, um, be open, right? Be open to these things that don't work out and see what you're learning from them and see how you can implement them and see how actually sometimes when things are going sideways, it's because it's creating space for that manifestation that you've been thinking about and desiring. And so being open to the flow of how things are working out. And of course, when you're learning something new like this, or we're reminding you of something that you already know, then have the conversations with other people. Share this content, whether it's through conversation or sharing the link, sharing the video, then whether it's with us or anybody else, any other podcaster or influencer, that you share the content with people, because there are other people who are seeking this information as well. So we're on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker. We do a lot of stuff on social media, mainly Facebook. So we're on many platforms where you can find this content, of course, YouTube. And so it's very easy to share this stuff with your friends. And be courageous, have the conversations. Do you have any final words, sister?
Take time to make your own world.
Right?
You can be busy all you want to, but busy isn't going to get busy, just keeps you running around in someone else's experience,
Yeah.
like a chicken with your head cut off. So
Yeah.
create your own space.
Let's
Create what
have
you want
fun
to
with
see.
it.
That's right.
All right, my friends, thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we'll see you in the next video if you choose to hang out with us a little longer. See you soon.
Bye.